Howdy folks, welcome back to Boondockery. Tonight I'm going to show you my Trangia 27 cook set. Trangia has been manufacturing stoves and cook sets since 1925 in Sweden. Trangia's spirit burner is very well known and very recognizable. Just about every major producer of spirit burners in the world basically copies, at least in appearance, the Trangia spirit burner. Trangia's spirit burner is rock solid, and quite frankly, I've never had a spirit burner of the same size and configuration that functions and performs as well as Trangia's spirit burner. Next to Trangia's spirit burner, probably the most innovative design that they produced was in 1951 with the Model 25 Storm Cooker. This is Trangia's Model 27 cook system. It is virtually identical to the design that was produced in 1951. However, over the years, they've made some slight modifications and some fantastic accessories for this wonderful little cook set. This is the most basic variation of the set. It comes with a strap to hold everything together. It has a fry pan, non-stick. This is a divider which keeps the non-stick pan from getting scratched by the contents of the cook system. Put that right back underneath there. We have a handle, which I'm going to tell you a little something interesting about this handle design here in a few minutes. We have, in the original plastic bag, which they recommend that you keep, I have my Trangia spirit burner. And there comes with the set 2 different sizes of cook pots. You can use them as bowls. This is the top windshield. This is the bottom windshield. Now I'm going to show you how it all goes together. Right here we have all the component parts ready to put together. This is the bottom windshield. We're going to go ahead and start with that first. The bottom windshield has some slots for the strap. We have an opening for the gas burner where the gas hose can come out through here. We have ventilation to allow maximum airflow. This is the top windshield, and it does a fantastic job protecting the flame from the wind. And the bottom of the top windshield has some openings to accommodate some flanges that's located on the top of the bottom windshield so that they can fit right over top of it. Quick rotation, and they're locked into position. On the top windshield, you also have 3 support arms. When they're in the upright position like that, it'll accommodate the fry pan. It will also accommodate a much larger cook pot that will fit on the very outermost regions, which you can purchase as an accessory. Drop the arms in, and the little cook pots can fit right down inside. But in order to be able to utilize any of your cooking vessels, you need to put in your Trangia spirit burner right in the opening in the top of the bottom windshield. And that is that. One of many of the accessories I purchased for my Trangia 27 cook set was the Trangia fuel bottle. This is a superior fuel bottle design to any of the others that I have owned or currently own. It is very rugged, very robust, but the beautiful part about this particular fuel bottle is the valve, the dispensing valve. It locks into position, so by unscrewing that, I've unlocked it. I now can depress a plunger valve that when it's down and I tip it over either direction, I have airflow into the bottle and the alcohol flows out. Let me show you how this works. Just simply unscrew the lock on the plunger valve, tip it up and over. As you can see, it's not spilling, it's not dripping. And press the plunger. And there. The Trangia fuel bottles actually come in 3 different sizes. A 0.3 liter, this is a half liter, 0.5 liter, and it also comes in a full liter. I went ahead and shot for what I thought would be a more practical size, but looking back at it, I could probably use one of the 0.3 liter bottles as well, just for like day hikes, things like that, because this right here, this is a substantial amount of fuel. This is a weekend's worth of fuel for me with my regular consumption. The valve on this is fantastic. The locking mechanism, ensures that it's not going to spill. You're not going to lose fuel accidentally in your pack. The idea, no matter how I tip the fuel bottle, I will have the alcohol being dispersed through one of the nozzles and air will be flowing into the bottle, permitting a good, even, constant stream of fuel out of this bottle. I can use methylated spirits, denatured alcohol, or white gas, unleaded gasoline in these bottles, just the same. The one I would probably recommend that you go ahead and label these if you do use these same types of bottles for multiple fuels. I'm never going to use one of these bottles for anything other than methylated spirits or denatured alcohol. One of the other accessories I picked up for the 27 cook set was this awesome little kettle. It's a 0.6 liter kettle, and so realistically it's half liter, because you don't want to get it too full, because if it's too full, when it starts to boil, it's going to spill out all over the place. Nice little lid comes off of it, and the lid is ventilated, so you can see some steam escaping there, to let you know that it's well on its way to boil. One of the other nice little accessories with this is that you have a locking position for the handle in either direction, and on the handle is a removable rubber guard. Now, this rubber guard is removable because sometimes if you have a pretty decent flame on an open fire and you're using this for an open fire, not on your cook system, those flames could actually melt this. And without the little rubber piece there, you could very easily burn your fingers. And I've burned myself many a time on cooking items on the fire. The handles actually riveted onto the cook pot, which I like rivets. I'm a big fan of rivets. I've got several cook systems that's been spot welded or tack welded, and they have failed. And so I have cook pots without handles that should have handles, and I think rivets are probably the simplest and most surefire way of securing handles and the like to your cook pots. But it's adorbs. I love it. The next accessory I purchased was the multi-mat. This is a fantastic multi-purpose little piece of kit for your Transgea cook system, and it can be used as a cutting board, it can be used as a strainer, it can be used as a lid, and the beautiful thing about it is it's got different grooves in it, so it can fit different sizes of lids. And let's say we go ahead and put it on one of our 2 cook pots. It locks in a position, it's not going to slide off, and with that notch in there, I very easily can use my handle to pick it up, do what I want with it, and to be able to hold it and to strain any liquid out of there. If I'm doing any type of pasta or things like that, boiled potatoes, I just need to get the water out of there, strain it off right like that, set it down, and the lid stand on there will keep it nice and warm. There are a lot of companies out there that make nesting cook sets. However, a lot of those manufacturers produce accessories for those cook sets that will not nest in with the cook set when it's nested together ready for packing. You have to actually pack those accessories in another container and put it someplace else in your pack. That's not the case for the accessories that I purchased for my Trangia 27. Let me show you how this breaks down with all the accessories. All ready to go in the pack. Now, with most of my cook sets, I like to have the versatility of having multiple fuel options. I tried something as an experiment once with my Trangia 27 that didn't quite work well as far as an alternative fuel source for cooking some food. I'll tell you about that here in just a minute. But what I did find that did work real well as a secondary fuel source option is the Trangia fuel burner. The Trangia fuel burner is an isobutane stove, and it has a nice little fuel line and a fuel valve which attaches to a can of isobutane. I'm going to go ahead and get this ready and show you how it attaches to the stove system. This is the lower windshield, and the fuel burner actually goes through here and out of the opening that we talked about earlier. Comes right out of here, slides right on through, and you have nice little spring clips that will clip on either side right there of that lower windshield. And of course, we have the fuel valve, which will go right on to the isobutane stove valve. So now we have a nice little isobutane stove. Now, it's my understanding that Trangia's fuel stove is actually manufactured by Primus. That doesn't bother me in the least because Primus makes some very high quality stoves. As far as performance goes, this stove performs every bit as well as my Pocket Rocket or any of the other isobutane stoves that I happen to own. Now, I mentioned that I had experimented with an alternative fuel source for my Trangia 27. I ran out of alcohol. So my alcohol burner was pointless. It was just a paperweight at that point. So I started looking at this design and I was thinking, well, we've got the pot here and it sits on the resting arms. We've got all of this ventilation in the bottom part. You know, that's almost like a grill. That's almost like a grill. So if I were to set this on the ground and I were to dig a little hole underneath of it and I would have built a little fire underneath there, and I put the windshield back on it. That would lock in some of the heat, and I would go ahead and put my cook pot back in there. It would work. It would work. Well, it did work. It worked very well. I got my water to a really great boil, and I was all excited. And then I started taking it apart. And when I took it apart and I looked at my bottom windshield, it looked like this. So if by any chance you have a Trangia 27 or a 25 and you run out of alcohol for your spirit burner, don't do what I did, or this will happen. Now, the wonderful thing about Trangia's website is the fact that they sell all the spare parts you will ever need for any of their cook sets, any of the spare parts whatsoever. The prices are very, very reasonable, and when I ordered my accessories straight from Trangia, I got them within a week, within 7 days from ordering, and I was 100% satisfied. You do not get those combinations of attributes to overseas orders. And especially when you're ordering directly from a manufacturer, they almost always have things priced at a way to where you would be better off going to another retailer to get a better price. But yeah, it was a good idea, but not a good idea. Now, I like to do research. Sometimes the research I do is on purpose. Sometimes the research I do is accidental, because I'll be researching something I'm supposed to research, and then I will see a little tidbit that makes me go in another direction, and then that will show me a little something that takes me off on another little path, and before you know it, I've gone down the rabbit hole, and I've spent 6 hours online when it should have taken me 15 minutes to get the information I originally sought. Now, the reason I'm bringing this up, because when I was researching information for my Esbit solid fuel tab video, I ran into information about the Trangia stove system like I've got right here, but I also ran into an older system called the Meta 50. The Meta 50 had a bottom windshield and a top windshield, just like the Trangia does, except the top windshield had a little trap door. Just like the Trangia, it had an opening for fuel. It had, the Meta 50 had a reservoir, which was a dish that fit inside this little opening. And you would put your solid fuel tabs, which were about 1/2 inch wide and about 3 inches long inside of that. And when that would start to burn out, well, you would add more. But you would add it through the little trap door, but not by opening up the trap door and shoving it in there. Oh no. This little handle was not just a handle. It was a feed chute for solid fuel tabs. You would actually insert the handle through the little doorway. It would feed all the way in, rest against the doorway opening. Perfect angle to drop a solid fuel tab right through here into the dish to add more fuel to your fire. That is pretty cool, and I really wish they would have stuck around with that idea. It was neat, but I always wondered why these handles were shaped the way they were. I understood why they needed to work as they do here. That made sense to me. It never made any sense to me why these were rectangular until I found that information. These are the items that I purchased through the one order directly with Trangia. Like I said, I got everything that I ordered in fantastic shape within 7 days of the purchase. And I thought all of the prices were either comparable to or actually better than some of the prices I saw from from retailers. As a matter of fact, these green fuel bottles were actually almost twice as expensive if you could find them in stock with some of the retailers. I will go ahead and put Trangia's website in the description, so you can go and look at their website yourself. Give yourself a little time, because they have a lot of good quality products. And if by any chance you happen to have a Trangia cook set where something has gone bad, something's worn out, definitely look on that website to get replacement parts, because they sell replacement parts for everything. I absolutely love my Trangia 27 cook set, and I have used it quite a lot over the past 10 years. And with the accessories that I added to it, I think it makes it a pretty complete little cook set. Is it the best cook set that I own? Probably not. Is it the lightest? No. Is it the most durable? No. Is it the most ergonomic design? Probably not. But what it is a fun little cook set that I truly enjoy cooking with. I'm not going to take this on, a cross-country hike for a week. I'll be using basically boiled water and solid fuel tabs for that with Mountain House meals. But to just go on a short hike out, 2-3 miles, set up a camp, take some real food with me, and to actually cook, this is a great little cook set. And like I said, I think it's just flat out fun to cook with. I think it's absolutely ingenious the way it's created, has history behind the design, and just about everything about it I love. Like I said, it's not a lot of things, but what it is a fun little cook set that I truly enjoy using. I would recommend this. Folks, if you enjoy the content I've got going on my channel, I deeply appreciate your subscription. And if you want to keep apprised of what's going on the channel, keep up to date with all the latest videos, go ahead and click that notifications bell. As always, folks, thank you so very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.